Hi, I'm Cathy from Absolutely Fabulous at Home, and here to talk to you about our top 10 gadgets for 2023. We have so much fun with this category. Every year in November we pick the top 10 gadgets of the year. They're not necessarily the most popular. Sometimes they are, but if that was the case, sometimes I could have the same gadget every year. They are sometimes a more innovative gadget, or maybe it's something that we've had for a long time and all of a sudden people go, oh wow, I didn't know I could do that with that. So that's how this list is. The whole staff puts it together. And not in any particular order. They're not number 1 to number 10. But the first gadget we have is the Good Grips handheld mandolin slicer. I love this thing. This is perfect if you are doing a lot of scalloped potatoes. It has 3 different thicknesses and a lock, which the lock is important because it puts the blade below the surface of the mandolin. But 3 different slices. I can do a thin, a thicker, and a thickest. I can do potatoes for scallop in 5 minutes. It's so fast. It's a sharp, sharp blade. Has a little guard to keep your fingers away from the blade, but it works like a knife that's lying flat, except it's raised slightly so that it catches. It's just fantastic. Anybody who has to cut a lot of onions, tomatoes, potatoes, cucumbers, that's your puppy, and the guard snaps on it for storage and it just goes in your drawer. The other thing that has been extremely popular this year are the stretch and fit lids. 5 lids starting at 2 inches in diameter, and they go around up to 8 inches. They have a little lip on them of about 1 inch, so I can pull this down over a can and it perfectly seals it. Especially if I push down on the top of it a little bit and push some air out. Now I've got a great vacuum seal, and there's a little tab that comes out on the side of the lid. You can just kind of see it right here. And when I pull that tab, it releases the vacuum and the lid comes off. Number 3, toaster tongs. You all have had this happen. The English muffin slides down farther in the toaster than your little toaster thing can lift it up, and you can't get it out. And none of us, well, some of us do, remember to turn on or unplug the toaster to pull it out. Please don't electrocute yourself trying to get your English muffin out. Use a toaster tong. It's a little bamboo tong that reaches down, grabs whatever it is, and pulls it out. They also make a larger version they call the bacon tong, and this would be used for cooking, but it's the toaster tong that's our favorite. The garlic slicer. This is just for garlic. It's got a tiny little hopper. You put your garlic in there and you either slice on one side or grate. But the nice thing about it is it's fingers off. So you are just sliding back and forth, either grating or slicing, and your fingers are not coming in contact with either the garlic or the blades. So very handy little gadget for anybody who's into a lot of garlic. The ring vegetable brush. This one has been quietly popular. Your fingers go in here, you can either left or right. Nice firm bristles for cleaning carrots, potatoes, or anything else. Handy, handy little brush from Full Circle, who also believe in giving back to the planet, and they have what they call a zero plastic. So any of the plastics that they use in their anything they make, but in this case it's the bristles, has been recycled. So they will not produce any new plastic for any of their products. Should have mentioned this one when we did the garlic. If you work a lot with garlic, you know that it can kind of stay on your fingers and you can smell it for hours later. The secret is to wash your hands with stainless steel. There's something in the chemical, I don't know how it works, but with water and stainless steel, it neutralizes the oil that's in the garlic that left that smell. You can also fill this with soap, and so now you have a soap dispenser and you have your little built-in bar of garlic soap. Sugar savers. These have been around for ages, but all of a sudden this year it's like people just discovered them. A brown sugar saver goes in, you get it wet, you soak it in warm water for about 20 minutes, you pat it dry, you put it into your airtight container, put your brown sugar on top, and that will keep your sugar from going hard. It's like a little miracle worker, and they come in all kinds of little patterns. I have a couple here. The Bakeware Buddy. This is an essential for anybody who likes to bake, especially brownies or something that you have to cut in the pan. You've invested in your nonstick pan. You do not want to cut that pan. This is a nylon knife with a little bit of serration so you can get your cutting edge, but it will not scratch your pan. It's also a great knife for a child who's just learning how to cut, because it's sharp, but it's not knife sharp. So it will cut whatever they need to cut, like a sandwich, but it won't cut them. The spreader. Let me take this one off. We have so many people ask for a spreader. It's very simple, but it's wider than a knife. So it spreads peanut butter, it spreads butter, it spreads anything you want to spread so quick. And it's sharp enough to actually do a little bit of a cut, but it's not a knife. So another great one for kids. And the last, but certainly not the least, is the jar opener. This is a remake of a jar opener I remember from when I was a kid. The difference being the handle's wider. So the way it works, there are two little grippers on either side, and as you turn the handle, you spread them apart. They have little teeth on them. They grip the top of the bottle, and when you turn, it forces the little bars together. They grip, and as you continue to turn, and there's an arrow on here to show you which way to turn, the big wide handle, it will loosen the jar. It comes with a little silicone mat on the bottom, and that's to help keep your jar stable on the counter. Anybody who has trouble opening a jar, this is the perfect gadget. So that's our top 10 gadgets. We have a lot of fun picking this list, and I'm sure that there is something here that you could put in a stocking or under the tree.